Well, go ahead, Christine.
No, I do.
Surmising. We're all surmising. What does it all mean?
I think that he's going to bring. I think we're going to see Ben Carson more again in this campaign. I'm not saying that he's necessarily going to be the running mate, because I think that Trump has to pick for his running mate. And when will he make that announcement? I think he has to pick someone for his running mate who will be the anti-Hillary and the person who will kind of maybe have a chance at bringing some of those Ted Cruz supporters under his wing. But I do think you're going to see Ben Carson coming. And I think that Cruz is the fact that he didn't discuss Trump, he didn't even name him yesterday, just shows that he's willing to divide the Republican Party. Which is what the GOP
that was what his whole
anyway.
That's what his whole campaign has been for the last few months, right? Is not necessarily dividing the party, but somehow derailing Donald Trump. Really crazy. We do have John Zogby to talk about it this morning. He'll be on a little later. Zogby has an interesting take on this whole thing, and his belief is that I think the headline read that Cruz blew this. It wasn't as much of a Donald Trump win as it was a Ted Cruz loss. And if you really think about it, it was what happened this past week and what happened after Pennsylvania, that Cruz had this deal that he was working out with Kasich, and then he came back and said he didn't have a deal. And then you had Kasich's people calling him a liar. All of a sudden, it almost opened up the floodgates. John Boehner came out and said he's Lucifer in the flesh. I think, and it'll be interesting to see what Zogby has to say. But I think what happened post Pennsylvania really blew it for Ted Cruz, and that's where the Republicans that were kind of dealing with him seem to have jumped ship. I don't know. We'll see.
And perhaps we shouldn't call it the establishment anymore, but I think this is what happened to Ted Cruz is indicative of what happens when the political elite exhibits snobbery. Because I don't think anyone took Donald Trump seriously. There were just a handful of people who thought that he even would make it, a third of the way into
but
this
aren't we
race.
way past that? I mean, that was last year at this time. Everybody was... There's no chance.
But I think that
Trump
Cruz's
has no chance at all.
But I think that Cruz's tactics, his political strategy, did not necessarily change once they realized this wasn't going to work.
Yeah, you can all sit and second guess this thing, but it just became the Trump train that couldn't be stopped. And they're looking back and saying, "Oh, you started too late. You hammered him too late." Well, the hammering didn't do any good. Anytime you hammered him, and even think about when they came out and. Hammering him did nothing. They didn't lower his numbers. He had one little weak moment. And for people who are saying, "Well, listen, there's no way that Trump can win the presidency," I don't know. There's a new poll out right now that says Trump is in the lead. He could be the next president of the United States, and I never ever thought it could be possible. Anybody? What is the name of this concert, Andrew? Are you watching this concert that's been released out in California? They have a whole VIP package where it's $1,600 but there will be Bob Dylan, the Rolling Stones. Who else? Wasn't there something recently called Conchilla or something?
Coachella.
Coachella.
Oh, Coachella, yeah.
Is that what this is for next year? They're announcing huge acts. Well, it's going to be incredible.
It's a popular thing nowadays to do more festivals, and I think the New York State Fair had released
they have a ton of acts they're doing at this new amphitheater.
Right, they're doing a lot at the amphitheater, but in recent years, they've been having trouble nailing down artists for single dates because a lot of musical artists are doing these festivals.
Right. So, somebody on Twitter discovered that if you speed up Bruce Springsteen's records and you play it at 45 RPMs, he sounds like a female artist. Which female artist do you think? Listen to this.
It's the big one now.
This is Stevie Nicks.
Oh, you think so?
I do. Listen.
Me and my partner, son, he built her straight out of scratch, and he rided me from town to town. We only run for the money, got no strings attached.
That is unbelievable. It sounds like Stevie Nicks singing It is unbelievable.
I'm interested to see who you say.
The Fire to the Rain.
I was going to say
Adele?
Cyndi Lauper.
Oh, no. Who sings Fire to the Rain?
Adele. You're thinking
Adele. I think there's a little Adele in there.
Listen, we could argue over all of it.
I could see
The
Stevie Nicks.
tweet says Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
I'm not going to reinvent the tweet, but take it for what it is. That's
funny.
Springsteen. 33 on 45 is what it is. Kind of funny. 6:29. Hold tight. Coming back at WIBX.